20 celebrities Queen Elizabeth II couldn't stand. Hello and welcome to the channel. Today's video is about people who didn't make it to Queen's Good Book. Queen Elizabeth II lived through many of the significant moments of the past century. She had the honor of gracing many world leaders and celebrities with her presence. These meetings didn't always go pleasantly and formally as expected, with these 20 celebrities finding a way to cross the Queen. Let's check out the list. Mick Jager. Unknown to most people, the Queen and Mick Jager's history goes back a long way. Once you hear the number of things he did to upset the Queen, you won't be surprised why he's so high on the list. According to reports, Mick Jager developed a relationship with Princess Margaret, who was in awe of his personality and charisma. She went as far ahead as building a villa right next to his on an exclusive private island. The Queen, fearing the royal's household name being tarnished, was entirely against this relationship. She also was displeased at the constant criticism and mockery of the royal family, going as far as calling Elizabeth II Chief Witch. The matter reached a boiling point when then British Prime Minister Tony Blair nominated Mick Jager for knighthood, a prestigious honor the Queen bestows upon an individual. With their tumultuous history, the Queen made sure she wasn't present to honor the Rolling Stone star and scheduled the event on a day that coincided with her knee surgery. John Lennon. The Beatles ruled over music in the 60s, with millions of fans at home and abroad. Surprisingly, some of these fans lived in Buckingham Palace and decided to honor their homegrown stars with one of the most prestigious distinctions given to a British citizen, member of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire. This controversial decision split the British public in half, whether the Beatles truly deserved it. However, all 4 stars made it to Buckingham Palace to receive the honor. One of them, John Lennon, made a bold decision 4 years later to return the honor. He returned the honor with a letter addressed to the Queen, stating his protest against the British Empire's involvement in the Nigeria-Biafra conflict and the Vietnam War. The Queen took his protest as an insult and allegedly banned the entry of the Beatles star at Buckingham Palace. Donald Trump. Donald Trump managed to upset the Queen not once but on several occasions. He showed little regard for royal protocols, breaking them in several instances. Moments were captured on camera, like turning his back towards the Queen or walking ahead of her. On another occasion, he showed up late to his meeting with the Queen, breaking another highly important royal protocol of never making her wait. When you think about it, you wonder how many rules he might have broken in their off-camera, private interactions that we just don't know about. All of this was not well received by the Queen, who expressed her disapproval of him to members of the royal household multiple times. Queen, always having the last laugh, donned a brooch gifted by Obama at the state banquet, sending a clear but subtle message to her chief guest of the day, President Donald Trump. Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, the wife of former President J.F. Kennedy, was one of the most photographed and fashionable celebrities of her time. She headlined magazines, bringing a certain flair to the role of First Lady. While she was well-liked at home and abroad, the Queen was not a big fan, resenting her for her media antics. The feeling was mutual. On her first visit to the Queen's residence in 1961, she made harsh comments about how the palace seemed outdated and worn down. She wasn't impressed with the Queen's fashion sense, calling her dressing moderate and out of style. But the Queen, being Queen, withheld the invites of 2 people Onassis requested to invite. She felt uncomfortable throughout the night, going as far as saying, "The Queen resented me." The Spice Girls. At the peak of their popularity, the Spice Girls ruled over British media in the 90s. At the Prince's Trust charity, the girls first met now King Charles. The dinner remained in the tabloid and people's minds for a long time, with a series of serious royal protocols being broken. It started with Mel B and Halliwell kissing the prince on his cheek. Ginger followed by suggesting the prince should get a tongue piercing. Understandably, the British media angrily threw their arms in the air, and the Queen was equally displeased. However, this was only the start of a long and eventful relationship between the Spice Girls and the royal family. Oprah Winfrey. Despite remaining one of the most popular figures across the USA and UK, all it took for Oprah to fall under the Queen's grace was one interview. Her interview with Meghan and Harry, which broke viewing records across television and the internet, severely displeased the Queen. As someone who worked vigorously to protect her family from public and press scrutiny, the Queen was infuriated by the interview. In her final year of living, she would be reminded of it every time she saw Oprah, and it's safe to say the Queen did not hold her in high regard at the time of her death. Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson found several occasions to make things unpleasant for the Queen. During the early days of the pandemic, he had to be talked out of meeting the Queen in person. He breached the SOPs, as he admitted publicly. This put both of their staff in an uncomfortable position while denying such a meeting. In his first meeting with the Queen, broke royal protocol as he came out and spoke publicly about their meeting. He quoted her saying, "I don't know why anyone would want to be Prime Minister." This off-the-script moment publicly put her in an uncomfortable position. Boris was often described as disrespectful and unhelpful in her presence, often referring to her as your mage. The Queen also felt he was of little use during Prince Andrew's scandal, offering little to no help as he was stuck in a scandal of his own. Tony Blair. Once asked by a journalist who her favorite prime minister to work with was, the Queen answered back saying he should ask who her least favorite PM was, before quickly answering herself, Tony Blair. Throughout this 10-year tenure as the country's democratically elected leader, Blair too found himself on the Queen's naughty list more than a handful of times. He was reportedly too comfortable and intrusive for the Queen when he was invited to a weekend at the castle. Blair's management of the 2002 Golden Jubilee celebrations, in which she was not given a major role, also left her displeased. Similarly, she disapproved of Blair receiving the honor of speaking at the Golden Jubilee service of Thanksgiving. The Queen was also unimpressed by Blair's decision to bestow titles and honors on many of his close associates. Lady Diana. To put it mildly, Queen Elizabeth II and Princess Diana had a complicated relationship. Diana was modern and outspoken, while the Queen was known for her stoic demeanor and adherence to protocol. The Queen was known for her silence and adherence to tradition, whereas Diana expressed her emotions openly and candidly. The difference in approach was especially noticeable in the media. The Queen and Diana's relationship was fraught from the start. Diana had little in common with her fiancé, who was 12 years her senior, and the Queen was initially sympathetic to the princess. She believed Diana could handle royal life and supported the union. However, Diana quickly realized how difficult the royal family could be, wishing the Queen had given her more advice. From there, the Queen and Diana's relationship only deteriorated. Meghan Markle. The Queen's relationship with Meghan began in 2016, when Prince Harry began dating. The Queen welcomed Meghan into the family warmly at the time, and the couple married in a beautiful ceremony at Windsor Castle in 2018. However, tensions between the Queen and Meghan did arise in the months leading up to their wedding. Reports emerged that Meghan had requested a half-up, half-down hairstyle for her big day, and the Queen had responded with a firm no. According to the reports, the Queen wanted a more formal, traditional look for the wedding, and Meghan had no choice but to comply. The relationship between the Queen and Meghan hit rock bottom in January 2020, when Prince Harry and Meghan announced their intention to step back from the royal family. The announcement reportedly hurt the Queen because she had not been consulted. And when they gave an explosive interview to Oprah Winfrey in March 2021, the Queen and Meghan's relationship reached a new low. There they claimed that a member of the royal family questioned the skin tone of their son Archie. In response to the interview, the Queen stated that the issues raised were taken very seriously and would be addressed privately by the family. Margaret Thatcher. Despite their mutual admiration, Margaret Thatcher and Queen Elizabeth had ideological differences that frequently led to disagreements and tensions. While they maintained a cordial relationship throughout Thatcher's 11-year tenure as Prime Minister, a few incidents irritated the Queen. One of the most contentious incidents between the Queen and Thatcher occurred in 1986, when Thatcher refused to sanction apartheid-era South Africa. This was contrary to the Queen's wishes, as she supported the Commonwealth and the anti-apartheid movement. Another squabble between the Queen and Thatcher occurred in 1987, when Thatcher delivered a speech in which she identified herself as a citizen of the United Kingdom. The Queen was reportedly offended by the speech, which appeared to imply that Thatcher was attempting to usurp the Queen's role as head of state. Finally, it had been reported that the Queen was irritated by Thatcher's refusal to cooperate on certain issues. Thatcher allegedly had a habit of lecturing the Queen on her beliefs, which the monarch found disrespectful. This lack of cooperation caused a schism between the two, with the Queen believing Thatcher did not respect her role as head of state. Melania Trump. One of the first controversies between the Queen and Melania Trump happened in 2018 during the formal First Lady's trip to the UK with Donald Trump. During her visit, Melania was seen wearing a green jacket with words, "I don't really care, do you?" written on the back. This was seen as highly disrespectful to the Queen, leading to much criticism from the UK media. Lastly, there were reports that the Queen was unhappy with Melania's behavior at the state banquet hosted by her. According to some sources, she considered Melania too casual in her demeanor, and even a bit rude at times. Queen Consort Camilla Parker Bowles. When Charles and Camilla first met in the early 1970s, the Queen's relationship with Camilla became strained. Despite Charles's strong feelings for Camilla, the Queen was initially opposed to the relationship because she believed it would be detrimental to the monarchy. This opposition grew when Charles and Diana married in 1981, as the Queen hoped it would help restore public trust in the monarchy. The Queen's feelings towards Camilla worsened when the press released tapes of Charles and Camilla's intimate conversations in 1992. The public was outraged by Charles's affair, and it caused a huge scandal. Combined with the Queen's reluctance to approve of Charles and Camilla's relationship, caused the Queen to refer to Camilla as that wicked woman. As Charles and Camilla's relationship became more public, the Queen's feelings towards Camilla began to soften. Despite her reservations, the Queen eventually accepted Charles and Camilla's relationship, even attending their wedding in 2005. Furthermore, the Queen went so far as to name Camilla as the next Queen Consort, a significant departure from the monarchy's original plans. Overall, Queen Elizabeth II and Camilla Parker Bowles have had a rocky relationship. Xi Jinping. Queen Elizabeth II and President Xi Jinping's relationship has been turbulent. Initially, the Queen was enthusiastic about the Chinese president's visit to the UK in 2015, with the British government hoping to strengthen bilateral economic ties. However, tensions have grown over time, with the Queen reportedly calling Chinese officials very rude during a state visit to China in 2018. In 2018, Chinese officials refused to allow British media to attend a press conference with Xi during his visit. The British government saw this as a huge insult, as the Queen had gone to great lengths to ensure the visit was a success. This incident caused a huge rift between the Queen and Xi. The Queen reportedly was dismayed by the Chinese president's behavior. Another altercation between the Queen and Xi occurred in 2020 when China passed a new national security law for Hong Kong. The international community widely condemned this law as a violation of the One Country, Two Systems framework that had been in place since 1997. The Queen was reportedly outraged by the new law, and her displeasure with Xi's actions was a major factor in the British government's decision to sanction China. Finally, reports suggest that the Queen was irritated by Xi's refusal to cooperate on certain issues. Xi allegedly had a habit of lecturing the Queen about his beliefs, which the monarch found disrespectful. Lady Gaga. From prime ministers to rock stars, it seems the list of celebrities who have wronged the Queen is endless. Initially, the Queen was a big fan of Lady Gaga's music, inviting her to perform at the Royal Variety performance in 2009. However, tensions have grown over time, with the Queen reportedly offended by Lady Gaga's behavior during her 2011 visit to the UK. Lady Gaga's relationship with the Queen became strained in 2011 when she visited the UK as a part of her Born This Way ball tour. Lady Gaga made several controversial moves during her visit, including wearing a raw meat dress to the VMAs and posing naked for a magazine cover. The Queen was reportedly offended by Lady Gaga's moves and was displeased with her behavior during the visit. Another incident between the Queen and Lady Gaga occurred in 2012 when Lady Gaga released her single, Marry the Night. The song mentions the Queen several times, including a line about dressing up like the Queen of England. Finally, there have been reports that the Queen was frustrated with Lady Gaga's lack of respect for the monarchy. Lady Gaga has made several controversial statements about the monarchy, such as calling them outdated and out of touch. Prince Harry. The Queen and Prince Harry had a warm and humorous grandmother-grandson relationship. However, their relationship was strained in recent years. In the run-up to Prince Harry's wedding in 2018, the Queen and her staff reportedly clashed with Prince Harry over certain demands, such as bringing in his florist and cake makers and asking the Archbishop of Canterbury to marry them before consulting the Queen. The Queen was said to be so irritated that she summoned Prince Harry for a rare reprimand. Another controversial incident involving the Queen and Prince Harry occurred in 2019. The couple chose not to visit her at Balmoral when the Cambridges and the Queen's other grandchildren typically visit Scotland for a short visit. Finally, there are reports that the Queen was dissatisfied with Prince Harry's recent decision to resign as a senior royal. Prince Harry and Meghan announced that they would step down as senior members of the royal family, splitting their time between the United States and the United Kingdom. Sarah Ferguson. Sarah Ferguson's relationship with the Queen became strained in 1992, when she and Prince Andrew announced their separation. Sarah's behavior was reportedly unacceptable to the Queen, who was also dissatisfied with her decision to divorce Prince Andrew. Another squabble between the Queen and Sarah Ferguson occurred in 1992. Sarah was caught on tape offering access to Prince Andrew for money. The Queen reportedly found this offensive and was upset with Sarah's behavior. Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew might have never imagined being on a list of people the Queen had animosity towards, especially after historically being the Queen's favorite. The Queen always had a soft spot for her son and looked out for him in many ways, including concealing his obnoxious and eccentric behavior, as she wanted to protect him and the royal family. Prince Andrew was known within the family and publicly to be extremely close to the Queen. The Queen gave many concessions and privileges to the former RAF pilot and Duke of York. However, Prince Andrew had a reputation for being rude, short-tempered, and fiery. Many royal staff members have since come out and talked about his ill treatment of the domestic staff. They also alleged he sneaked many women into his shared residence at Buckingham Palace, often late at night and without any security clearances. This posed a severe security threat to the Queen and other household members, but he always found a way to escape reprimand. However, it all came tumbling down for Andrew when Virginia Jeffrey alleged that the prince had sexually harassed her while she was underage. The case picked up more and more steam in the media, and when the matter reached court, the Queen had to intervene. Prince Andrew could not afford to go to trial publicly, as it would bring out further details relating to the case, tarnishing the name and prestige of the royal household. The Queen first decided to strip Prince Andrew of most of his royal privileges and titles before rescuing him by agreeing to pay the out-of-court settlement fees to Virginia Jeffrey. This brought severe shame and negative attention to the Queen and her family. Noel Gallagher. The Oasis frontman has on several occasions shared his disapproval of the royal family. He has remarked that their appeal is dwindling amongst the masses, and they are becoming more and more irrelevant each day. He has also been reported to go as far as saying that the monarchy should be abolished, with the royal family being treated as ordinary citizens. These remarks reportedly reached Queen Elizabeth, who was infuriated by the rock star's comments. Robbie Williams. The pop star might have the coolest reason on the list for being hated by the Queen. He smoked his spliff inside the Buckingham Palace. After being invited as a guest during the Jubilee celebrations, Robbie Williams admitted to recreational smoking marijuana inside the Queen's residence. Upon revealing this publicly, the Queen was angered at his lack of respect for the monarchy and the lack of security inside the palace. And with this, we are at the end of the video. This list includes some of the names that have been reported publicly, but it makes you wonder how many more there might have been that we just don't know about. Comment below and let us know who you were most surprised about. Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing to our channel. Click on the bell icon to get notified of our upcoming videos. We will see you next time.